Hello, Michelle Rankin here, and I am here with Mary, and I want to share with you Mary's amazing transformation. So thanks for being with me, Mary. Let's
Thank you for inviting me, Michelle.
absolutely let's dive in. Let's start with kind of the overview. How did you find me, and where are we now?
Well, I've had a long weight loss journey. I actually started on diets when I was 12 years old, and one time I counted over my lifetime, I had like maybe 15 different significant diet plans I was on, where I would just dig in and just do it, and I always did lose weight, but what always happens is you gain it back, and a few more. And as I got older, I got married and had a child, and pregnancy, like my weight just got really high out after, into the 200s, which before, when I was young, it would be in the under 200, but I was still overweight. But it was like it was impossible to get my weight down. I'd lose 50 pounds, but I'd still be over 200, And
Mm-hmm.
so I was always searching for things, and I would say some of the things I did try a keto diet the year before I found you, Michelle. And I had all these books and recipes, and I was doing bulletproof coffee, and I lost like maybe 23 pounds, but then I just stopped, and I realized I wasn't really in ketosis. And one of the things that I was doing was I was adding butter to everything. Like they had no limit of the amount of butter, and so I was trying to add it in. And when I realized I wasn't in ketosis, then I added carbs back in, but I didn't cut the butter
Yeah.
out. And so all the weight came back on, and I was like, I was still trying to eat healthy. I've had a commitment to eat healthy for a long time. Like I'd been eating gluten free and trying to stay away from simple sugars and things like that. I would still have ice cream or something like that, but I wouldn't, eat most sugar things. Well, so I was getting desperate, and my weight was at, climbing back up, which the weight I'd lost climbing back up. And I had all this, I was been seeing a chiropractor. My pain in my lower back wasn't going away, and he finally confronted me and said, look, you got to lose weight. I mean, he was pretty much saying if I didn't lose weight, I wouldn't be able to walk for more than 5 minutes without pain. And it kind of gave me an extra not that I didn't already have it, but I was like, okay, I've got to go back on keto. But I started keto, and that was in May of 2018. But what happened was, it was I was the same thing. I was like, I did this before, and I wasn't really in ketosis. I wasn't losing. I would lose a little, and I wouldn't keep losing. And that's when I found your program, where you laid it out and said, this is a different type of keto that would help you lose weight. And so I started it. I had already started the keto, but I started tweaking it and doing
Yep.
the things that are in the low carb cave girl,
Yep.
and that started it. and so that would have been in June of 2018.
June
And
of 2018, and we are recording this on 9/11 today of 19.
right,
So we'll say a little prayer for 9/11 for sure. So tell me, we are now a year and a few months in, and you are down how many pounds?
121 as today.
But who's
I know
counting, right?
you said 120, but it's not too much.
Oh, congratulations. I
Thank
love
you.
it. I definitely, I really hear, a lot. And I was just on one of the big, beginner keto Facebook groups. I get notifications, in my phone all day long. And somebody posted, how much weight did you lose in your first month? And there's like 200 answers. And by and large, it's either I lost, 8 to 10 pounds or whatever, but now I'm stuck, or I didn't lose any and I can't figure this out. Like, it doesn't have to be that hard, right? But I talk about
Right,
how we have keto E for epilepsy, which is what you were trying to follow before, and then we have keto
right, right.
for fat loss. It's not the same, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And it's confusing and it's frustrating, and it just seems like the more popular keto gets, the more confused people are as well. And I was the same way before I figured out, the common sense way that we do it in my program. So
Mhm.
okay, let's talk about some of the specifics of making a transformation like this. So first of all, I would love to have people hear it from your own words, but you haven't stalled out at all in this. You're consistent, right? At what, about 10 pounds a month average?
Yes, 10 pounds a month. Like, in fact, one of the things that I did different was I was writing down what I ate every day and what I weighed. And it seems like it was happening slowly, I would say, because you're just losing 1 pound at a time. But when I added it, I didn't even realize that. When I looked over the year, actually, I lost 10 pounds a month exactly. Like, so, May 10, June 10 more,
Yeah.
like that. Just until I started slowing down, went right when I was getting to losing 100. And then it's more like been 5 pounds a month, or and I've been sort of stabilizing more lately. So
Yep, your body's looking for its right weight in there. Yeah.
exactly.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
love it. So you had lost some large amounts of weight in the past, right? But if I'm not mistaken, it was always on a real kind of a non-sustainable, like a liquid or a packaged food, or yeah.
Right. Yeah. One was packaged. I mean, I was on ones that were sustainable, quote unquote, like, like the popular weight loss plans.
Uh-huh.
But those, you lose weight so slowly that you kind of
Mhm.
lose motivation, and then you start making excuses, and that it just
Yep.
it just didn't continue. Yeah.
Yes, that really slow, painful weight loss. We know, like, eventually, right, it'll work out, and but there's no scientific reason weight loss shouldn't be fast. When you get the your food right for body healing, for detoxification, and for hormone calming, it is rapid. That's your prize for for getting it right. Your body doesn't want to be holding that extra weight when you give it what it needs
Right.
to detoxify and drop, for sure. Yes.
Exactly.
So do you feel like, just for people that are kind of looking in from the outside, like this is, you've been eating real whole food, we need to say, like, you're not, that,
Yes. Right.
how have things changed with your relationship with food, and how do you kind of see that moving forward?
Well, I also added in intermittent fasting, which is it fits easily with the low carb K Girl plan. So
Mhm.
what I did was I had a commitment not to eat after dinner and not to eat breakfast, or I would eat like brunch, like a late
Mhm.
morning lunch or slash breakfast. And I found that that would give me like a certain control, where I wasn't like just thinking snack, snack, snack. And also the plan calls for liquid snacks, not regular
Mhm.
snack, which, so in the times in the past when I'd be really tempted to just want to go snack, I was like, no, I'm going to fast. And I had more control. And
Yeah.
I did have certain liquid things I would have at night, which would satisfy me. And so I just wouldn't, sometimes I would have, most of the time I was satisfied. I was eating foods I really liked. I think that's another key. Find things that you feel, so you're not deprived because you're like, hey,
Yeah.
I really like this and it tastes really good,
Yeah.
because when you have cut out all the garbage stuff, everything tastes better. So you don't feel deprived, and you can have food you like. And so, I mean, yes, maybe somebody would be eating something and I might want that, but I think, well, but when I go home, I'm going to have this that I really like. So it's good enough.
Good.
So
Yeah.
I was able to resist and just be committed and not want to binge out, or.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one thing that you had said is that, like, on special occasions, you could make a keto cake or a keto pie or something for Christmas. So like I did that. We had pie at Christmas, and I was able to still enjoy it. It didn't wreck my plan at all. I kept losing.
Yeah. Mhm.
Just had that for Christmas and Thanksgiving. It just kept right on going, and
I love it.
yeah, so it worked.
I
So
love it, love it, love it. Yes, yes. And I am a big fan of intermittent fasting. One of the things that I find, just for those that are looking in, is people try to start it with keto, or they try to intermittent fast without keto. And it almost always leads to a binge, right? You were deep in ketosis, and it's a natural losing your appetite, or your appetite not really, because it sounds gross, but we're eating our own fat for energy, right?
Mhm. Right,
And
right,
that's
right.
the tweak that my plan is we're not just burning dietary fat, we're burning our fat, but we shouldn't be hungry, right? We should be able to extend our meals really easily. And then the snacking thing is crucial because it's decision fatigue. First of all, we have to rest our body and extend the time between meals. But when people are trying to eat 6 to 8 to 10 meals a day, it's like, oh my gosh, I don't, nobody can make that many decisions in a day, right?
Right, exactly,
Exactly.
exactly.
There's just nothing left of you to make a good decision at dinner if you've already made 400 food decisions, right? So just
Right.
some more, kind of specific knowing your plan and really sticking to it is crucial for sure. Yes.
Right. And you don't really get hungry on this because you're satisfied. And so sometimes like lunch, I don't care if I eat it, but I know I have to eat it or I'll get too fatigued, so it's like you
Yeah.
kind of have to eat sometimes when you don't even care. So,
Yes. Yeah. Because we're eating to live, not living to eat, right?
exactly.
That reminds me, one time you said something in our Facebook group about having made this transition to not seeing food as entertainment anymore. Do you remember saying that? Can
Mhm.
you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. Well, like we tend to go to a party and think, oh, the main thing is the food, but now it's like, no, the food isn't the main thing. The main thing is to talk to the people and to socialize and have a good time. And so, yeah, like I said, that thing about being satisfied and not being hungry. So if I go to the party and I've already eaten and I'm satisfied, or one thing that I do, I have my coffee, which I put like chocolate powder in it, and it tastes so good to me the way I make it. So
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
a treat. Yeah, so I have a treat that I can always have, and so I'll be drinking that when they're eating that, and it doesn't bother me. I have my treat, so
Yeah.
that kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
thing. You find ways to adapt. So.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, you're married, right? And so did your
Yes.
husband come on this journey or support you, or kind of how did that look?
He also was losing weight, but he does his own thing. He just sort of cuts back. Men are able to just
Yeah.
cut back, but he
I won't drink a
hasn't
six
lost.
pack tonight and I'll lose 10 pounds, right?
Yeah, exactly. He hasn't lost as much as me though. And like he's sort of done more like what we had always done in the past. You lose like 50 or 60 pounds and then you stop. So he's kind of been there.
Yeah.
So, but
He's been
he's
supportive
not.
of your journey.
Yeah, yeah. So
So,
yeah.
what kind of ways has your life changed? What have you noticed different, or how has it shifted things for you?
Well, one thing, I do have battles with arthritis. And one thing, when you cut sugars out, there's a certain level of pain. It just lifted off me. And even grapes, that's like the summer I had added fruit back in. I'd been doing keto and I added different I was eating grapes, and it's like I had all this pain, and just cutting out, you wouldn't think that fruit would do it, but my pain level lifted. That was before I even lost weight. And then yeah, just being able to do the exercises more and being able to wear different clothes. Like this outfit I'm wearing, I used to wear this 25 years ago. I haven't worn it for 25 years.
Beautiful. I
and,
love
and now it's loose. Now it's loose.
it.
So I had these clothes that I saved that I just couldn't part with, and I got them all out from the basement, and a lot of them were too big. I gave those away, but I saved my favorites, and it
I
was kind
know.
of amazing.
People are always surprised when they pass their skinny clothes and they get to buy more, and they're like, I saved those for 30 years and I still can't wear them because now they're too big.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Well, and probably when you were eating, eat keto for epilepsy, keto E, it probably was adding inflammation too, right? Because all of the
Yes,
allergens.
exactly. Yeah, the inflammation was
Yeah,
gone, and
definitely.
so yeah, let's see. So you said, yeah. So I wasn't able to wear sandals before. So like this summer, I can wear sandals. My feet don't hurt. That kind of thing. There's just little changes. I can go for walks, and my feet don't hurt. I stand up. Yeah, I wasn't able to stand for very long, because of my lower back, but also my knees and feet. So yeah, it's just changed dramatically, actually. So.
Well, and you've
Um,
defied the odds. What did your chiropractor have to say? He probably didn't think you would.
He's proud of me, he's Yeah, I don't, that's a good question. What does he say?
Because I know when I was a healthcare provider in massage, I mean, if people would have just drank the amount of water I suggested, they wouldn't have needed me. But very few of your, patients when you're medical do what you suggest, because he didn't have a solution to give you of how to do it, right? He just hopes that there's something out there that, yeah.
Well, he did actually have a, but I didn't go on his plan.
Oh. You have like one of those in-office programs?
Well, it's, well, we don't need to get into that, but I should say he did have me on supplements that were for my DNA. Like I had my DNA tested, and I would have to say, I had support things like that. I had supplements. I've been on thyroid medicine, bioidentical hormones. I sort of think everything aligned up to come together. So I was able to actually lose more than I usually would lose. So.
Yeah, we have to support the whole body and all the systems for sure.
Right, exactly.
That's good. It sounds like you're in good hands. I've had to help a lot of people find sort of a functional medicine practitioner, and there's pockets. Surprisingly, interestingly, this is a little off topic, but I'm finding that they're easier to find in more rural places than you would expect, and a little harder to find in some of the urban places than you would expect. It's interesting.
That is interesting.
Well,
I should say my chiropractor is a functional medicine doctor too. Sure. I should say that. So.
Sure. Yeah. Well, good. Well, I am so very proud of you.
Thank you.
120 pounds. I mean, that you've saved your life, right? That's amazing.
Well, I'm not ashamed to say I'm 62 years old. I never thought this would happen in my 60s when I've struggled with weight for all these years. But I'm determined not to put the weight back on. And I feel like I do have tools this time to keep it off. Like just being in ketosis and the intermittent fasting are tools I can use, and the types of foods that I learned to eat on this program. I'm confident I can keep the weight off, and I have Michelle to coach me too. So
you got me in your back pocket.
Yes.
What would you say, Mary, to someone who's kind of looking in from the outside about, nervous to take the plunge and to join this program? What would you say to them?
Well, this is definitely the way to go. I think it works better than anything I've been. Like I said, I've tried 15 different things that I did lose weight on, and I didn't count the ones that were just little here and there. Probably more like 25
magazine articles.
Yeah, little. But this one is the only thing I've been able to, like. I've never lost over 100 pounds before. This is 120 pounds, and I'm like, okay, this works.
I love it. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for sharing so transparently here today. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you and all you do. So thank you.
We'll talk soon. Thank you, Mary.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.